Imagine standing at a crossroads where conventional logic meets the unknown. This is the realm where Blaise Pascal's daring wager takes place. In the late 17th century, Blaise Pascal issued a challenge. He proposed a wager that was not about chance, but about faith. Pascal's wager dared to place belief in God on a rational pedestal. It was a bold move that risked misunderstanding and scrutiny from the ecclesiastical authorities. Yet, Pascal was not deterred. He was a mathematician, a thinker well-versed in the calculus of probability. But here, he stepped beyond numbers. The essence of Pascal's wager is simple. He argued that belief in God is a rational choice. Why? Because of the potential infinite gain versus the finite loss. The wager presents a scenario. If God exists and you believe, the reward is infinite. If God does not exist, the loss is finite. This is because the earthly sacrifices made in the name of faith are limited. Thus, Pascal contended that rational individuals should bet on God's existence. Pascal's argument centers on risk management. It's about weighing potential outcomes. He did not provide empirical evidence of God's existence. Instead, he provided a decision-making framework. This framework leans heavily on the logic of probability, yet it introduces an element of faith. Pascal's wager is not about proving God's existence. It is about the repercussions of belief versus disbelief. In this sense, it merges the rational with the spiritual, daring us to consider both realms. Now imagine living your life as if God exists. Pascal suggested that this way of life brings no inherent downside. He believed that acting as if God is present can transform your life. Through faith, he argued, you might find truth. Pascal saw faith as a transformative power. It can elevate individuals, altering their perspectives and actions. To him, faith was not merely a belief in the unseen. It was a force that could potentially reveal deeper truths. Pascal's wager is not just about belief. It's about the consequences of that belief on our lives. Living as if God exists can instill a sense of purpose and morality. It can guide your decisions and shape your character. Pascal viewed this as a potential reward in itself. Even if God does not exist, this life is enriched by a pursuit of virtue and meaning. But Pascal's wager is more than just a pragmatic choice. It's an invitation to explore the possibility that faith might lead to truth. Faith, in this context, is not blind adherence. It's an openness to transformation and enlightenment. This is the wager's deeper invitation. It challenges us to consider what might be gained through faith. It beckons us to ponder what it means to live with belief at the center of our lives. Pascal's daring proposal did not go unchallenged. Critics like Voltaire questioned its validity. One major critique was about which faith to choose. If one is to believe in God, which God? Voltaire and others saw this ambiguity as a flaw. However, Pascal had an answer. He contended that true faith is more than a logical decision. It's something that is felt deeply, beyond mere reason. Pascal believed that faith transcends logic. It's a leap into the unknown, guided by intuition and emotion. For him, faith was not confined to the dictates of reason. It was a profound personal experience. This is where Pascal's wager touches on the mystical. It asks us to go beyond calculation. To him, faith was a journey of both the heart and the mind. The critics of Pascal's wager also pointed to its potential to promote insincere belief. They wondered if people would pretend faith just for the sake of potential reward. Pascal acknowledged this challenge. He believed, however, that sincere faith could develop over time. By living as if God exists, a person might come to genuine belief. This was part of the wager's transformative nature. It suggested that actions could lead to authentic faith, bridging the gap between doubt and belief. Pascal's wager is a unique blend of logic and spirituality. It invites us to ponder the limits of reason in the quest for belief. Can reason alone ignite genuine faith, or does faith require a leap beyond mere calculation? Pascal leaves us with these questions, inviting us to explore further. His wager remains a provocative point in philosophical and theological discourse. It challenges us to examine our assumptions about belief and rationality. The wager is not just a gamble on belief, it is a call to reflect on the potential of faith to transform our lives. Pascal's ideas have sparked countless discussions, both in his time and ours. The wager remains a testament to the power of philosophical inquiry. It encourages us to explore the profound intersections of logic, faith, and the human experience. Yet, the question lingered. Critics like Voltaire, ever skeptical, questioned the validity of Pascal's wager. They raised a point that seemed unassailable. Which faith should one choose if the wager is taken seriously? This critique aimed at a perceived ambiguity in Pascal's logic. If belief in God is the rational choice, then which version of God is the correct one to believe in? The plurality of religious beliefs added complexity to this seemingly straightforward wager. Pascal understood these concerns. He recognized that faith is not purely a logical construct. True faith, according to Pascal, transcends reason. It is not something picked like a fruit from a tree. Instead, he viewed it as something felt deeply within. Faith, for Pascal, was akin to an experience or a revelation. It was an inner conviction that arose not solely from reasoned argument, but from an emotional and spiritual connection. This understanding of faith allowed Pascal to sidestep some of the criticisms directly. He suggested that the path to true faith was not merely through choosing the right religion logically. Instead, it was about being open to the experience of faith itself. Pascal implied that faith is a journey. It is a personal exploration that might begin with a logical decision, but ultimately transcends it. The wager, therefore, is not about checking boxes of doctrinal correctness. It is an invitation to experience the depth of belief. The mix of logic and spirituality in Pascal's wager invites further reflection. Can reason alone ignite genuine belief, or does faith require something more? This question remains central to the ongoing dialogue about faith and reason. Pascal's wager does not propose a simple answer. Instead, it opens a dialogue about the nature of belief. Pascal understood that reason is a powerful tool, yet he also recognized its limitations when confronting the infinite. Faith, for Pascal, required a leap beyond calculation. He saw faith as an acknowledgement of the unknown. Reason can guide us to the threshold, but faith asks us to cross it. This leap is not blind. Rather, it is informed by both intellect and intuition. It is a leap into a realm where logic meets the spiritual, where the heart and mind unite. Pascal's understanding of faith challenged the boundaries of reason. It suggested that there is more to belief than meets the rational eye. Pascal's wager, thus, serves as a bridge between skepticism and belief. It invites us to question our assumptions about what it means to believe. Does belief demand proof, or can it be a matter of trust and experience? Pascal suggests that while reason can guide us, it is not the sole arbiter. Faith, for many, is an experience that transcends logic. It is an engagement with the world that acknowledges mystery. As we ponder the implications of Pascal's wager, we are drawn into a broader philosophical inquiry. It is an inquiry that asks us to consider the value of faith in our lives. What role does faith play in shaping our actions and our understanding of the world? Pascal's wager continues to be a catalyst for these reflections. It is a testament to the enduring power of philosophical dialogue. The wager is not just a gamble on belief, but a call to reflect deeply on the potential of faith. It asks us to consider how faith can transform our lives, even in the absence of certainty. Pascal's ideas have sparked numerous discussions, and they continue to resonate today. His wager invites us to explore the intersections of logic, faith, and human experience. It challenges us to examine our understanding of belief and to engage with the profound mysteries of existence. In contemplating Pascal's wager, we are reminded that philosophy is not merely an academic exercise. It is a living conversation that touches on the core of human experience. Pascal's wager invites us to participate in this conversation. It encourages us to explore the boundaries of reason and to consider the possibilities of faith. Join us next time as we delve deeper into the intersection of skepticism and belief. We will continue our philosophical journey, exploring new ideas and challenging our perception. Until then, thank you for listening, And remember to keep questioning. Keep exploring the rich landscape of philosophical thought, and let it guide you to new horizons of understanding. Blaise Pascal lived in a time of great intellectual upheaval. The 17th century marked the rise of the Enlightenment and the Scientific Revolution, two movements that reshaped the landscape of European thought. Enlightenment thinkers emphasize reason and empirical evidence, challenging the dogmas of religion and tradition. This climate of skepticism posed a significant challenge to the established religious doctrines of the time. Amidst this backdrop, Pascal conceived his famous wager. He faced a world increasingly skeptical of religious faith, yet he remained deeply committed to Christianity. The scientific revolution, spearheaded by figures like Galileo and Newton, further advanced a worldview grounded in observable and measurable phenomena. This shift encouraged individuals to question the immaterial and the divine, seeking answers in science rather than scripture. Pascal's wager emerged as a response to these challenges. He sought to defend religious belief not through traditional theological arguments, but through a pragmatic appeal. By framing belief in God as a rational bet, Pascal provided a novel approach to faith in a world that valued reason above all else. This strategic adaptation of religious faith to the new intellectual climate set the stage for a broader exploration of faith beyond reason, which we will uncover next. In everyday life, faith often manifests in ways that defy strict rationality. Consider the altruistic acts of those who dedicate their lives to humanitarian work, despite tremendous personal risk and little tangible reward. Mother Teresa, for instance, devoted her life to aiding the poor in Calcutta. Her faith-driven mission transcended logical self-interest, embodying a commitment that many might see as irrational. Another example lies in the realm of transformative spiritual experiences. Take the case of mystics, who report profound encounters with the divine. These experiences, while deeply personal, often led to lasting changes in behavior and perspective. Saint Teresa of Avila described her mystical visions as ineffable and beyond rational comprehension, yet they profoundly shaped her life's work and spiritual teachings. Communities, too, can exhibit faith beyond reason. The Amish, for instance, maintain their distinct way of life not due to empirical justification, but through a deep-seated faith in their traditions and beliefs. Their lifestyle choices often seem illogical to the modern observer, yet they persist, driven by convictions that supersede conventional reasoning. These examples illustrate how faith can inspire actions and choices that reason alone might not justify, prompting us to explore how this contrasts with other philosophical arguments for faith. When comparing Pascal's wager to other philosophical arguments for faith, distinct differences and similarities emerge. Pascal's wager suggests that believing in God is a rational bet. If God exists, the believer gains infinitely. If not, they lose nothing substantial. This pragmatic calculation emphasizes the role of reason in faith decisions. In contrast, Kierkegaard's leap of faith embodies a more existential approach. He argues that faith transcends reason. For Kierkegaard, faith requires a personal, irrational leap beyond the constraints of logic. This leap involves a deep, subjective commitment, where embracing the absurd is essential. William James offers another perspective in his pragmatic approach. James suggests that faith can be justified when it leads to beneficial outcomes. For him, the truth of a belief is determined by its practical effects in life. This aligns slightly with Pascal's practical considerations, but diverges in its emphasis on the results of belief rather than the beliefs themselves. While Pascal uses a cost-benefit analysis, Kierkegaard and James emphasize personal experience and outcomes. These differing approaches underline the complex relationship between faith and reason. Yet, all agree on one point. Faith significantly influences life choices. This acknowledgement opens the door to examining critical objections to Pascal's wager. Critics of Pascal's wager often raise the many gods objection. This argument points out an oversimplification in Pascal's approach. By framing belief in terms of a binary choice between Christianity and atheism, Pascal's wager neglects the vast spectrum of world religions. Each religion presents its own unique claims about the divine and the afterlife. Because of this diversity, the decision is not merely a gamble on the existence of the Christian God versus no God at all. Instead, it becomes a complex matrix of possibilities, each with its own potential rewards and consequences. Consider the possibility of wagering on the wrong God. If a person bets on the Christian God, but another deity holds the keys to the afterlife, then the wager fails. This challenge suggests that belief cannot be reduced to a simple bet. It must account for the many gods and varied doctrines across cultures. Critics argue that this oversight undermines the wager's logical foundation. Such criticisms compel a deeper examination of Pascal's response, which attempts to defend the wager's relevance despite these complexities. How does Pascal address these objections? And what role do emotion and intuition play in his defense? These questions lead us to the next part of our exploration. Pascal's response to the criticisms of his wager draws on the subjective and personal nature of faith. He does not argue that the wager is a definitive proof of God's existence. Instead, he presents it as a pragmatic decision under conditions of uncertainty. For Pascal, the wager is not a dogmatic command to believe, but an invitation to consider belief as a rational choice with existential implications. He acknowledges that faith transcends pure logic, appealing to the heart, which he famously asserts has its reasons that reason does not know. Pascal suggests that the wager is about the lived experience of belief, rather than adherence to specific doctrines. He posits that choosing to believe can cultivate a meaningful life, aligning with the human search for purpose and connection. This perspective shifts the focus from abstract theological arguments to the concrete impact of belief on personal existence. In defending the wager, Pascal emphasizes the transformative potential of faith. He argues that the benefits of belief, such as hope and moral guidance, can outweigh the uncertainties. By framing faith as an existential choice, Pascal provides a compelling counter to purely rational objections, leading us to consider the intricate roles of emotion and intuition in embracing the divine. Emotion and intuition play pivotal roles in the formation of faith, often bridging the gap between logic and belief. Philosophers like William James argue that faith is not solely a product of rational deliberation. James suggests that emotions can provide a significant impetus toward accepting beliefs that reason alone might not justify. This perspective acknowledges that emotions can guide individuals toward decisions that align with their deepest values and experiences. Psychologically, intuition often operates as a subtle undercurrent that influences belief systems. It provides a sense of immediacy and certainty that rational analysis may lack. Carl Jung, known for his work on the collective unconscious, posited that intuition taps into shared human archetypes, fostering connections to spiritual dimensions beyond the tangible. Moreover, emotions like awe and wonder can spark a sense of the divine, encouraging faith even in the absence of empirical evidence. These experiences can be transformative, leading individuals to perceive the world through a lens of meaning and purpose. Faith, therefore, emerges as a complex interplay of the emotional, intuitive, and rational. This intricate balance supports the belief that faith is an active, evolving journey. As we explore how faith influences behavior, we will see this balance in action, reflecting its profound impact on human life. In the realm of ethical behavior and decision-making, Pascal's conceptualization of faith can act as a powerful motivator. Faith, as Pascal saw it, is not merely a passive state, but rather a driving force that can shape the choices individuals make. For instance, a person who embraces faith might prioritize charity and compassion, drawing on religious teachings as a guide for moral conduct. This is seen in the lives of historical figures such as Mother Teresa, whose unwavering faith in God spurred her to dedicate her life to serving the poor. In contemporary society, faith continues to influence actions in various ways. Many charitable organizations are founded on religious principles, motivating volunteers and donors alike to act out of a sense of duty beyond mere rational calculation. Consider the global efforts of faith-based humanitarian groups that provide aid during crises, their actions often rooted in beliefs about the sanctity of human life and compassion. Faith can thus transform abstract beliefs into concrete actions, encouraging individuals to pursue ideals that surpass personal gain. This active expression of faith and behavior underscores its relevance across eras, highlighting how belief can lead to meaningful contributions in society. As we transition to examine Pascal's wager in a modern context, we will explore how these dynamics continue to evolve today. In today's world, Pascal's wager remains a topic of interest, especially as society experiences growing secularism alongside a rise in diverse spiritual movements. The wager, which suggests that belief in God is a rational bet given the potential eternal gains, continues to engage those questioning the place of faith in an age of reason. As traditional religious adherence declines in some regions, there is a simultaneous increase in alternative spiritual practices. These movements often emphasize personal experience over dogma, challenging conventional notions of faith. Pascal's wager provokes dialogue about rationality and belief, urging individuals to consider the consequences of disbelief. This is particularly significant in a time where empirical evidence is often held as the ultimate arbiter of truth. Yet, the wager still finds relevance as it appeals to the practical outcomes of belief, offering a framework that transcends empirical verification. Moreover, the wager's logic resonates with those exploring spirituality as a means of finding meaning beyond material existence. It raises questions about the nature of belief and its impact on life choices. As we delve into the synthesis of logic, faith, and human experience, the ongoing discussion around Pascal's wager illustrates the timeless tension between reason and belief in human life. Pascal's wager invites us to consider the delicate balance between logic and faith. It is a philosophical tool that challenges us to weigh the potential outcomes of belief in God against disbelief. This interplay highlights the human tendency to seek certainty in an uncertain world. Pascal presents faith not as blind acceptance but as a rational choice amid uncertainty. This synthesis of logic and faith suggests that human experience is often guided by an intricate blend of the rational and the emotional. The wager underscores the role of human experience in shaping belief. It acknowledges that people's lives are not governed by logic alone. Emotional and intuitive dimensions play significant roles in decision-making processes. Thus, Pascal's wager becomes more than an argument for belief in God. It serves as a reflection on how individuals navigate existential questions. In modern times, the wager continues to provoke debate. It speaks to the human condition, revealing how people grapple with the unknown and the unknowable. This interaction between logic and faith, rooted in human experience, enriches our understanding of existence. It leaves us pondering how belief systems influence actions and shape perceptions of reality. This exploration leads us to consider the broader implications of faith in a skeptical age. As we conclude our exploration of Pascal's wager, it is clear that this philosophical proposition extends beyond the confines of religious discourse. It invites us to reflect on the broader spectrum of choices we make in life, many of which rest on uncertain outcomes. Whether in matters of faith, ethics, or personal decisions, the interplay of risk and reward remains a constant theme. This ongoing dialogue between certainty and doubt challenges us to evaluate our beliefs and the principles guiding our lives. Such reflections encourage a deeper inquiry into the role of faith and reason in shaping our personal and collective narratives. In our next essay, we will delve into the philosophical inquiries of Friedrich Nietzsche, exploring his critique of traditional moral values and his vision of the Übermensch. We look forward to guiding you through another journey of thought and reflection.